Hello and welcome to VasiLIKEY Comic Reviews. I'm your host VasiLIKEY, and we're here to talk about a story that I've been waiting for months, and that is the Empyre series, Avengers Fantastic Four. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be real good. And we're gonna review the first half of it today, which is issues 1 through 3 and the issues before that. But before we get into this, I just want to let you guys know, spoiler alert! Yeah, so you're supposed to stop and then be like, oh wait, maybe I don't want to see those spoilers, but maybe you do. And so now we're going to discuss a little bit about Empyre. So the first thing on the list is Road to Empyre. This is a pretty cool comic. I'm going to talk a little bit about it. This book is basically a rehash of the Kree-Skrull War that we've seen in Avengers comics back in the day. So they're just rehashing it for people who don't know. The Kotati is basically the central in all of this as far as this book goes. It tells us that Mantis and Swordsman created Sequoia, or Koi, not sure how to pronounce it. Mantis and Swordsman, they created him. What we learned in this comic is that Hulkling, who's a young Avenger, Hulkling was born by Captain Marvel. Now, that's not the Captain Marvel that we know today. It was an older Captain Marvel, and Princess Anel, which was a Skrull, Korean Skrull, they come together, make Hulkling. Yay! That's why after Hulkling has learned where he was born, he wants to now unite the Korean Skrull empires. So the next up on the storyline is Empyre Avengers number 0. And here we learn that the Avengers, which consists of Captain America, Hulk, Iron Man, Captain Marvel, Black Panther, Ghost Rider, and Thor. And they find out that as they are getting a call from help from the moon. And they learn that the Kotati has been growing a garden on the blue side of the moon. So they land and they find a Kree sentry, which is, it's a little bit different. It actually looks like it has like the Kree sentry body, but the head of some kind of weird monster. And they're trying to figure it out. What is this? It's a Kree sentry, but it's got some weird head on it. When they actually see it, they find that Swordsman is there, and he's part Kotati. He's actually been so Swordsman was dead, of course, but then Kotati actually created another Swordsman, and that's how Mantis and Swordsman went. Oh yeah. So Iron Man is convinced that the Kree and the Skrulls want to end the Kotati, which is pretty crazy. The Kree and the Skrulls have been, at it, for years, and they've been wanting to, basically destroy the Kotati. So it would make sense to destroy, the Kotati. But Iron Man thinks that this is what's happened. Iron Man and the Avengers want to help as best as they can. So next on our list is Fantastic Four Empyre number 0. This one right here was very, very cool to me, and is very funny. Gives, I think, a lot more information than what was in Empyre Avengers number 0, and we'll explain why. The Fantastic Four run out of fuel because of a rogue plasma flare, so they have to figure out what they're going to do. They're stuck on a rock, and so the Human Torch creates a 4, and all of a sudden a space pirate appears. They try to make a deal with the space pirate. The pirate sees the Thing and goes, "Oh, hey, you're the Thing, right? Oh, you battle these guys. You battle all these guys. So you could go into this space tournament that they have in the casino." And Human Torch, being Human Torch, says, "Hey, we can make you do this, and we're gonna do. We'll even give you front row seats if you tow us to the nearest spaceport." So the space pirate's like, all right, let's do this. So they go. So in the casino, they find out that the Kree-Skrull War is alive and well, and in a different form than you would think. They have a Kree and a Skrull, and they're fighting. The Profiteer, who is the Grand Master's sister, she's making money off of it. So they're betting, like all these people are betting to, see who's going to win. So the Thing and the Human Torch basically get suckered into fighting these two, this Kree in this scroll. And what they find out is that actually these are two kids, and these two kids have been bred for war, sucked all the knowledge from all the warriors from the Kree, and then and that would be for the Kree, and all the warriors for the scroll, and put that into the scroll. And so they're fighting like they know every kind of which way they can fight, and so they're really good fighters. But on top of that, they're kids. They've been bred for war. And so one of the funny parts about this story is Valeria and Franklin, they basically, since they're all doing what they're doing, Mr. Fantastic, Invisible Woman, they're trying to talk to the Profiteer, and Thing and Human Torch are doing their thing. Valeria and Franklin are like, hey, let's gamble. And Franklin's like, what? Why? And Valeria's like, you know what? Don't worry about it. I can get the money. We're gonna sell the Fantastic car, and we're gonna buy it back. So that's actually pretty funny. They make it to where they're losing money, and they do not know how to get it back. But fortunately for them, Invisible Woman is there, and she is invisible, of course, and she's basically making it to where they are winning. They're winning, and as Invisible Woman has a plan, and this plan is that she wants to make them have all the money they have, so that they buy out the casino. And basically, what they do is, since they own this casino and they own everything in it, what they do is they say, hey, Profiteer, we could sell you this casino back, but we're taking the kids because we do not want them to be fighting for you anymore. We want them to have a normal life, which is cool. And so they go back to Earth, and when they go back to Earth, they find an armada is waiting at the Earth. So now we get into the nitty-gritty. Empyre issue number 1, and this is pretty cool. We're going to get into it. As soon as the Fantastic Four see this armada, they send Valeria and Franklin back home with the two kids, the Kree and the Skrull kid. They do not want them to see more war. As this happens, the Fantastic Four and Avengers meet with Hulkling and a Super Skrull named Klurt and a Kree Super Soldier named Captain Glory. Thanks to Thor, the Kotati now have a jungle that's in the blue side of the moon. So while this happened, they find out that they're on a spaceship with Hulkling. Them and Iron Man, they discuss as to what are they trying to do. They're trying to talk with Hulkling and say, hey, you're the Kree and the Skrull, and it looks like you're gonna be bombing this moon, and we can't have that. We're siding with the Kotati. And they're also questioning Hulkling, saying, hey, do you really know what you're doing? These guys are the Kree and the Skrull. What's going on? You're actually now leading them? So they both debate. Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, and Iron Man, they start talking. They both agree. They think that Hulkling is being manipulated by the Kree and the Skrull to fight the Kotati. And so they fight. They bring the battle to them with Super Skrull, the Captain Glory. They start fighting. Skrulls, Kree. They start fighting. They start going. Basically fighting the Avengers. Trying to stop them from fighting the Kotati. Thor tries to stop this by throwing his hammer to them. And what happens is Hulkling has his space sword and wing. It stops his hammer. So what happens is Iron Man has a kind of secret device that he uses and basically makes it to where they takes away their weaponry. They'll stop attacking the Kotati. But the Kotati have a plan of their own. Okoye, he has a plan. The flower ring. We don't know exactly what this is at that point. And all you know is there's a bud, like a huge kind of globe flower that's glowing, and you find out that the Kotati actually want to take over the Earth, and they'll fight the Kree, the Skrull, anybody to get what they want. Alright, so now they're into it. Empyre issue number 2, the Avengers are trapped, and we find out that as every villain does, you get a kind of little info dump of what's going on and what his history was happening. So the swordsman talked to Okoye about the evils of Earth, the Kree, the Skrull, and how that they should battle them and get rid of them. This thing that they were talking about in the first issue about the flowering towards the end, the flowering is actually a death blossom, and they've been trying to cultivate this death blossom for a while. Koi has actually been secretly sending out spies to try to eliminate this Kree and Skrull alliance. But as always, after the villains, talk about their grand scheme, the Avengers break out. They come to find out that the Kotati is now invading Earth. And then what happens is while they're on their ship, they're actually battling the Kotati as well. The thing is actually Kotati is actually growing into the thing, and making him like almost die. So the Fantastic Four and Captain Marvel, they try to contain the Kotati, but they can't do it. They can't do it. They're trying. They can't do it. So what happens is Hulkling uses the energy from his space sword and he stabs Captain Marvel. She's willing to do this. She stabs Captain Marvel, and basically she absorbs all the energy from the space sword and takes out all the Kotati that's on the ship, helping out the thing and everything else and making sure that everything's good. So after Captain Marvel destroys the Kotati that's in the ship, one of the advisors to Hulkling, her name is Tanalith, she gives Captain Marvel a thing that maybe she wants or maybe she doesn't want. She doesn't know, but what she does give her is the hammer from Ronan the Accuser, which is long gone. She actually gives it to Captain Marvel, and she is now the new Accuser. Alright, and for the final part, we have Empyre issue 3, and there's some really interesting things that happen in this one. So basically battles are happening all over the Earth right now. Iron Man and Mr. Fantastic, they're trying to find a way to stop their plant controlling powers that the Kotati have. And then so what's happening now is Black Panther is discovering another plot of Koi, that there is a connection between the Death Blossom and the Great Vibranium Mound that is in Wakanda. He's starting to realize that there's something going on with the Death Blossom and the ground that grows the vibranium. So as pieces of the Kotati plan start coming together, Hulkling starts talking about the Pyre, and Kl'rt, who's the Super Skrull, Hulkling says, this is the death of a world, and Kl'rt says, no, it's the death of a sun. That's going to be making an astronuclear war on the Earth. So basically Hulkling has some serious decisions to make. Doesn't know what to do. He has the space sword, so he sends it back to Black Panther because he thinks that he can use it to defeat the Kotati. He doesn't want to stab Captain Marvel again because if he does, she might die, and they don't want that to happen. The Hulkling is like, should I risk the Earth so it can save many galaxies, or we're gonna save the Earth and we'll see what happens. But the big thing that happens in this issue, which we're going to conclude, so we find out in the book, the very end of the book, Tanalith talks to Captain Glory in a private little part of the ship and basically reveals that she is the grandmother of Hulkling, and that she's going to make sure that Hulkling does what she wants for the glory of the Kree Skrull Empire. Crazy! I'm going to give you some side notes right now that I think might happen, or and also a couple of things that happened in different issues that I didn't get to in this video. Basically, you find out in the new Captain Marvel, I think it's issue number 18, you find out that Hulkling sends her out to accuse this Kree soldier because she destroyed the whole thing, which we don't know. We're thinking that's what's happened. But you find out that the Kree soldier that she goes to accuse is actually her sister. Whoa! I think that might be a key issue. You might want to pick that up if you haven't already. I'm not sure if it's going to be valuable or not, or or a hot item, but I have a feeling It's gonna be good, and I think you want to pick that up. And also, I think that the two kids, the Kree and the Skrull kid, I think there's gonna be something there's gonna be a plot in the storyline that, you know, is gonna involve those kids. I'm not sure because they're separated now. They went back with Valeria and Franklin to Earth, so we don't know what's happening. But the cool thing is that I'm actually glad to hear, which is on one of the Fantastic Four issues tied to Empyre, is that we find out that the new Fantastic Four that's been, you know, was back in, I think, the 90s, Spider-Man, Wolverine, Hulk, Ghost Rider, they're all going to be in the following issue. So look out for that as well. If you haven't got that issue, definitely pick it up. I love that. I love Spider-Man, so, you know, of course I'm going to get it. But, you know, Spider-Man, Hulk, Wolverine, Ghost Rider, it's like bang, bang, bong. I want all that. Yeah. The ending of the part 3. Wow. That's the grandmother of Hulkling. So what happened? How did she get in there? Like, what happened? You know, obviously, you know, they can change. The Skrulls can change. So we'll have to see what happened. What I think, you know, could happen is that there could be some double crossing. There could be maybe that, you know, since she's a Skrull, you know, because she changed from the Kree to the Skrull, she may want to have, you know, the Skrull Empire be back and kill all the Krees. Who knows? And here's another question too: is why did she give Captain Marvel Ronan the Accuser's hammer? I think that is going to be another plot point in the story as well. So I would stay tuned for that. That's all we have for today. Hope you like this review, and if you like this video, like it, and also subscribe. Do it today. Do it and be enriched in your life, and be like, oh, hey, I would like to know all this stuff. I want to see what happens next. Put the bell on it, and then you can find out. All right, guys, you have a great day. Happy Comic Book Day on Wednesday. Check out the new issue, Empyre 4, and we'll be reviewing the last half later on as soon as those issues come out. Thank you guys. Have a great day. Peace.